All right. Already 3 watching. All right. Hey guys, I'm One Man here. I'm going to do a bit of a preparation talk here in a minute. I'm going to take one of the items on the agenda and talk about it here and now. All right. And basically, this is where I talk. Oh, actually, that's a GIF, but anyway, so this is technically the pre-show to my podcast. I gotta make sure everything's all set up, no like frame skip issues or anything like that, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be any problems. So I'm just going to just start with my one of the topics I have planned for the main show and just put it on the pre-show, and that I'm going to do a quick update on a schedule change from the last update I did, and the reason why this is that yeah. And one of the things I am going to set up is the fact that K. Kyle brought up an issue I had that he had with me, and he doesn't like the fact that I've been changing my schedule back to a later time. And I understand why. He's also starting to get another job interview set up. But one thing I do know is that I'm going to change which days are free days and what the actual schedule is going to be, because K Kyle wants to bring over friends and guests in his place, and he wants personal space for that. And so I'm going to have to adjust my schedule just a tad bit. See, Mondays and Tuesdays are the days he has planned, and he wants to bring them over on Mondays and Tuesdays. So the way I'm going about it is that Wednesdays will be Mary Skelter, Thursdays will be the podcast and my producing perfection stream later on. Friday will still be Nep Friday. Saturday and Sunday Saturday will be Omega Quintet Trophy Hunt. Sunday will be Sword Schmuck Online or Schmuck Art Online. I'm sorry. So here, that's how my schedule is going to run. Well, that's a good question, Sullivan Otaku. Basically, here's how it works, Soul. All right. So give me a bit of a time real quick for any of you who are wanting to start and join in on the podcast. Any of you who are watching who wants to join me on the podcast may do so by joining the Discord server in the description. And if you have a mic, you can feel free to join on. And I have the agenda today as follows. And if you ever want to put in your impressions upon it, that's good too. And if you want your own topics to be discussed, then you can join in on that too and set up your actual desire, to bring up your own fan topics. So is anybody here? If you just remember at any point in time, guys, if you want to join in and talk on the podcast, the link is for the Discord server is in the description. All right. Joining us today will be once more Emerald. Hello, you're in Shin Anime Video. Welcome. Always remember that the Discord server for the podcast. All right. Anyways, where are you, Emerald? So, anyways, before we get this, we're still on the pre-show here, by the way, guys. We're still here on the pre-show, and the main show will start when the first person joins on, or when 3 o'clock rolls around. But let me tell you, I've got a bit of a loaded schedule today, as you can tell by the agenda in my description link. Also, when I am done, I am going to actually start You have to join the Discord server in the description. You have to join the voice chat in the general section, and you should be golden. I hope it's not echoing here. You have to join the Discord server in the description. You have to join the voice chat. Well, Jasmine, Alondra, if you can get a mic and join the Discord server in the voice channel general, you can bring that up once the topics that I've put on the agenda today are done. However, that will be under fan topics. You have to join the Discord server in the description. You have to join the voice chat. Well, Jasmine, Alondra, if you can get a mic and join the Discord server in the voice channel general, you can bring that up once the topics that I've put on the agenda today are done. However, that will be under fan topics. You have to join the Discord server in the description. You have to join the voice chat. Well, Jasmine, Alondra, if you can get a mic and join the Discord server in the voice channel general. Okay, back on, guys. We're back on. Okay. It seems no one is here right now, but that's fine. This is still the pre-show. I don't expect many people to be on the pre-show. Give me a second. I will. No, that's not one of the topics, John Pentagram. But thank you for coming on. For fuck's sake.
We meet again.
Welcome there, Esteban. You actually have a much deeper voice than I anticipated. All right.
Uh, to be honest, the voice you're listening right now is not the real one.
Mm, that's cool. Anyways, now that we've got our first guest on, our first fan on for today, I am going to move on to my topics for today. And the first topic on the agenda for today is New Game Season 2 and my earnest thoughts about it. Now, if any of you have a personal opinion about it, just let me know. But I will give my basic rundown of the season. So, from the start, one of the things I dislike about New Game is that they are the ultimate frigging cocktease with that whole nonsense about the shoujo eye, and like it's driving me batshit insane. Like every time you think there's always going to be positive progress with the relations between Ko and some other girl, or like fucking Alba and some other chick, it's always stopping short, and it's driving me nuts. And it's driving me absolutely nuts. And quite frankly, while I love the series, while I love the anime series in general, I am getting sick of it fucking bringing me to a point of excitement with the Yuri, and then it just stops. Like I love the show because it's lighthearted, it's funny, it's entertaining, but it's just so annoying when they just stop right as progress comes about anywhere, anytime, and it's like, ugh, for fuck's sake. It drives me absolutely batshit insane when Japan does this. And I don't know why they do it either. And it's just like they want to flirt with danger. It's almost like they want to fucking have their cake and eat it too. So, now, if you guys want, I can get the
Hello.
crunchy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, were you about to say something, Esteban? Because I thought you were, so.
Well, don't know about the anime of that you're talking about, so
Okay, then I'll give down. And basically, what this anime is it's a Moe Blob anime about um, about the main character being a girl joining her favorite like gaming company because she uh, played a game led by a character designer named Yagami Ko. And growing up as a girl, she decided she wanted to be a video game maker as a result of playing this PS3 game. And so it starts the story off by her actually joining the company called Eagle Jump. And the story is a mix between them talking about making video games and the personal relationships between the characters. Kind of pro quo typical of any Moe Blob anime, really. And it's actually pretty interesting. It's actually pretty entertaining.
huh.
And I will link the series into the. I will link the Crunchyroll link in the description. I find the aesthetics extremely pleasing. I find the general story structure and everything else to be entertaining. Oh, hey, Zwei! Hey, Levis! Welcome to the chat section
Oh,
of the stream. For those of you who don't know, uh, for those of you who don't know what New Game is, the link is in the description for Crunchyroll. Check it out whenever you have the time.
I have a question.
I'm sure. Go ahead, Esteban.
Okay, do I need a Crunchyroll account to see a series?
Well, you need a premium account if you want to watch it without ads, but if you don't want to pay a membership, they will have ads for it. So
Well, I have a.
you don't have to technically have an account, but you if you want to get it without ads and pay the premium membership, you have to get an account to get the premium and not pay or to pay. So, okay, welcome Zoss to the chat as well. Now, if any of you ever want to join in to my Discord, to my podcast, it is open to anybody. It is open to anybody to join into the podcast server, but you have to join the podcast server and then the general voice section. So, anyways, that were you say? I am sorry if I interrupted you on that earlier, Esteban. But were you going to continue onwards here?
Well, you can continue you want.
Okay. Anyways, so with new game, what I find appealing is that it has a general art style that I really enjoy. It has a storytelling medium that I enjoy. It has all the basic tools. It has all the basic tools and everything you have set up to be a great series, but then it just stops downright short, and it drives me absolutely insane. And it's not like this is an isolated incident with any series either. Like if it's not straight out hardcore Yuri, they're not going to continue all the way with the relationships despite it being shoujo-ai. Like if you're gonna label it, if you're gonna have like a shoujo-ai kind of anime, make sure you at least follow through a little bit on it. But it's just teasing at this point. It's like considering Neptunia shoujo-ai. Oh, John Pentagruel, aka Juan, wants you to do my general plug. Do you know what my general plug is, Esteban?
Do the plug?
They okay. John Pentagruel, he does not know what the plug is, so I will do the plug for him. Um, if you guys haven't already, caress that motherfucking like button. Caress it. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Then share on the interwebs, click the bell, etc. Anyways, all right. Now that I'm done, talking about New Game Season 2, and the fact that it's one of the things I did like about that season was the fact that they had altered the makeup a bit, in that they had like the main inspiration for the main character to join the company is actually leaving for France to up her game. And the one payoff it did have for the entire season is that the person who the main character idolized said that the main character was the inspiration for her to do so to up her game. And so it kind of paid off a bit. And so all right. Now that my basic statements on the state of new game is stated, since if there is anybody else who wants to weigh in on this, feel free. But if not, then I shall move along and move on to the next anime I wish to talk about today. Anybody? Nope. All right. Well then, go and I'm going to go and move on to the next topic here. And that next.
Okay.
Oh, did you have anything to say, Esteban?
Yeah, I just searched up new game on YouTube, and it seems I remember it watching some scenes time ago.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So, what general impressions did you have concerning that anime? What do you think your enjoyment level would be for that?
Well, it seems really cool and funny, like you said.
Well, there you go. There you go. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Well, then on to the next topic here. All right.
Uh,
Give me a second. I need to link the podcast into the script into the chat here.
yeah.
All right. Anyways, on to the next topic that I had for today is Classroom of the Elite and why you should watch it. Now, Classroom of the Elite, the basic premise that Crunchyroll has about this show is Kiyotaka Ayanakoji has just enrolled at Tokyo Kodo Ikusei Senior High School, where it is said that 100% of the students go on to college or find employment. But he ends up in Class 1D, which is full of all the school's problem children. What's more, every month the school awards students points with a cash value of 100,000 yen, or kind of like uh, about $1,000 or $10,000 in American money. And the classes employ a laissez-faire policy in which talking, sleeping, and even sabotage are permitted during class. 1 month later, Ayanakoji, Horikita, and the students of Class D learn the truth about the system in place within their school. And if you want me to condense that into a basic summation, its basic hook is that it's a psychological story based within school, within a very specialized school to ensure the future of all the students there. So basically, what this story's hook is it plays upon psychological aspects within the students within an enclosed space or an isolated space. Now, and the way they set up the hook is it's actually very phenomenal. And what I found very compelling about Classroom of the Elite is that not only does it have the psychological elements within a classroom, but it also brings in the very intriguing. I find the main character of the story to be very intriguing, and it doesn't seem to be much within like the first episode, but as the story goes on, it really starts to really just start gets and it just really gets going, and it really just becomes more interesting no matter what arc they put out. And one of the most interesting character by far is the main character on Ayana Koji. He's kind of a taciturn person who doesn't speak much and speak often, and he often speaks in soft tones. But what makes it interesting is there's a lot of development and a lot of good pacing, and it's what I would call a slow burn anime, where you build the story and build the building blocks slowly, and then continue the pacing onwards. And the reason why you guys should definitely give it a shot is if you want a story with some depth and some intrigue and some different like intelligent context and all this. They have so many elements to this series, and I think that if you are looking for a very solid, very entertaining 12-episode anime out of the former season that had just completed, Classroom Elite is number one amongst the seasonal anime. So if any of you have seen Classroom of the Elite, let me know. If nobody has, then by all means. Esteban, you have anything to say about it, or have you not watched this?
I never watched the anime, but of what you said and what I searched up, it really seemed to be very interesting.
All right. Well, in that case, I am going to transition from that to Gamers, the anime. And now, Gamers is a comedy anime. Now, it's a very entertaining comedy anime, and it's about people who are competitive game players. And these people are now normally this would seem very cut and dry, very copy paste, but the way it hooks you is that within the first episode, it makes you build up. It makes it seem like a build up to a general slice of life anime, but the way how it builds up the main character and how it builds up like this lead in, you expect to be, led into the typical response of the main character. Because what the main female interest does is she asks the main male character to join the competitive gaming club, or I guess it's called Gamers Club. I don't exactly remember the exact name of the club she led, but she, takes him to this club because she finds that he likes mobile games and she wants to bring him into her fold. And so when she takes them over and she introduces them to kind of an insufferable cast, an unlikable cast, you're like, oh man, is it gonna be really one of those kind of anime, one of those mediocre anime? But and the way they build it is that they just go and make think they're, oh, I didn't actually watch Made in Abyss Fairwood due to a certain person named Digibro. He said after the first 4 episodes the series fell flat, so I haven't really had time to watch Made in Abyss Fairwood. But if you want to discuss Made in Abyss Fairwood, my Discord server is in the description. You can feel free to talk about it in fan topics. Sorry about that. Anyways, back to gamers. What the way it hooks you is that despite all this like chummy buddy buildup, when the main male lead tries to convince him to join, the main male lead is like, "Nope, I shall pass," and he's literally, and that right there brings it turns your expectations on its head, and it goes and gives you kind of an alternate perspective on it, and it makes the main character interesting where otherwise he kind of seems kind of like a complete puss. I will link the Crunchyroll link for gamers into the chat section. Give me a second here. And yes, I'm going to be using Crunchyroll links always because I do. I'm working towards getting a sponsor by Crunchyroll once I get to
You
over,
may get one.
and I'm working towards that once I reach the 1,000 subs, because you can't have paid sponsorships until 1,000 subs for some reason. But I'm working towards that Crunchyroll subscription and sponsorship. So um, so I'm always going to link like the legal streaming sites of Crunchyroll. So, anyways, back to it, and what I was saying about gamers is that that's just how it starts, and the way it keeps you going is that if it follows a very basic comedic pattern. But the thing that is probably the most entertaining aspect of the series is not necessarily the gamer talk or the geek talk or anything like that, even though that is pretty featured throughout the story and is entertaining in its own right, but the absolute facial expressions and all the jokes in the way the facial expressions accompany them turn what may seem kind of like a dry gamer commentary sort of anime, it turns it into the biggest laugh riot. And the thing is there's like, I'm kind of split down the middle with this series, because there are so many characters I dislike, and I hate the fact that they beat around the fucking bush with the relationships. But the way that they have the humor set up and where they insert and contrast the serious situations with the funny ones, it's very well made, but I'm very conflicted about it because I hate the main character as the story goes on. I hate the main female lead as the story goes on. And the biggest gripe I have with this series is like all of their issues could be simply solved by just talking it out. And it's just like half the moment I'm raging, and then half of the moment I'm laughing I'm laughing all the tears out of my goddamn, out of my entire body. I'm just rolling on the floor laughing like Umaru-chan by how fucking funny it is. But at the same time, it makes me rage as fuck with some of the characters. And it's just like, I'm split between this, and Honestly, I would like to call it the broken Matt Hardy of anime. That's my overall impression of gamers. So if you haven't checked out that anime, please check out the link in the description. All right. Now, normally this set of topics will indeed most of the time these topics actually take a while to get get through, and so I'm not used to it. And where the heck is Emerald? He said he'd be joining,
Hmm.
and so I'm glad someone is at least joining on today. Thank you for just stopping by, Esteban. So I will use now to let you bring up a topic of your choice since we've got plenty of time. And basically, if you don't, the normally I leave the fan topics until after all the topics that I've covered, but today I'm going to start pacing in fan topics a little bit more now that I got the main sources out of the way here. So, do you happen to have any topics you would wish to discuss on today's podcast, Esteban?
About animes.
About anything, really, honestly. If it's something I can
Oh,
weigh in expertise on, feel free.
so look, I watched.
You watch what? Sorry, your mic went out, Esteban. Esteban, Esteban, you there? Did your mic cut out? Did your mic cut out? Esteban, yoo-hoo. Your mic just cut out, Esteban. Are you okay?
Look, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. My app crashed.
Ah, I see. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, we're
Okay, now, sorry. What I was gonna say. So there's this anime I watched time ago,
okay.
and the name of the anime is called Achi Koshi.
Achikochi. I remember that name.
It's one of the best animes I've seen. It's like
I think I've heard of that. Let me get let me look that up here.
it's so funny, and it's really funny, to be honest.
Okay, let me give me a second to look it up online. Oh, this one. So this was the one I was thinking of. Okay, that is good. I love this anime. This anime was absolutely cute. It I absolutely loved pace, the story,
Yeah.
and the fact that it really capitalizes on the relationships between the characters while still keeping the regular format. And honestly, I am glad you have seen this anime because this is actually not an anime quite a that this is not an anime most people are familiar with. So if anything, Esteban, good on you, man. Good on you. That's impressive because most people don't
Also,
watch this.
yeah, it's so amazing. The anime, the character, they really gave them a good script.
Critical.
But one of the bad things of the anime, they only made 13 episodes.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is that that's not even really a bad thing. I mean, honestly, it's cheaper to go with like 13 episode anime, and then if there's a popularity for it, just make another one after that, and then spacing it out. It's a money thing, and the reason why they're not making long running anime anymore, really, that hasn't been grandfathered in, is because of a money issue, and because of that, um, they are not making like 24 episodes or 48 episodes or 51 like they used to. Um, And while I understand it, it does indeed frustrate me because there's a lot of I do agree with you. There's a lot of anime out there that do deserve more than a 13 episode season. Do I believe that it took away or do I believe it took away from Achikochi? Probably not. But you know, based on what I remember from Achikochi, it's a series that really needs 24 episodes to justify it.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I would have loved to see a 24 episode or more of Achikochi. Um, hold on. Let me look for the legal. I want to see the legal means we can watch this. Um,
If if they made more episodes, one of the things I could wait a lot is to see the two main characters being together finally.
right, and that's one of the things I enjoy about the older Japanese anime in that regard is that they give you the relationship payoff. And that was kind of the problem I had with New Game the second season was that they didn't capitalize when they should have capitalized on it because everybody and their goddamn dog wants the characters in New Game to have the relationship payoff because that's kind of what keeps it working, keeps it in place. And I just realized something. There is on Amazon right now. You can buy the entire collection for $38.69 on Amazon with Prime. So there is that too.
Also, something about the anime. Well, as also as the main character, not Sumiki, but like the one with the glasses.
Um, Io Otanashi is his
Yeah,
name.
he really plays a great role in the anime. Like he, for me, is one of the best characters I've seen.
Yeah, and I can understand where you would say he's one of the best. I can, I have a personal list of ones that I kind of prefer more, but Otanashi Io is a good, very well written character, and that's one of the things that really kind of leaves me unhappy with the current state of anime right now is that they're focused more on the quantity of anime than the quality. And I, as an author, um, as a personal author, dislike stuff without quality or with mediocre quality. That's why when I write, I focus on the content and only pay small amount of attention to the structuring. Is that in order to write the best works I believe I can, I worry less about the structure and more about the content. And I think that they're focusing too much on keeping things within a 12 to 13 episode structure and not worrying about the meat or the juice of the actual content in the first place. Hold on, I'm looking that up right now. There, John Pentagrel. Hold on. I'm going to go onto Amazon and find that out for you right now, John Pentagrel. Now, I don't know how you're going to be able to watch it legally on online, so I'm not going to link it, but I will leave the name of the anime for you guys to watch for Achi Kochi. And if you guys want to, you guys are free to use whatever source on it because Crunchyroll apparently does not have it on their site.
Please watch it. I highly recommend it.
You've got a seal of approval from both Esteban and OneMan on this in this regard. If you need a heartwarming, nice, calm, low key, but very heartwarming and romantic story, Achikochi is for you.
He's right.
So, Give me a second. I actually think Black Lagoon is on Crunchyroll. Don't quote me on that. All right. Well, if you get seasons 1 and 2 in a package, you can buy it on Blu-ray for 33.67, but on DVD for 180 for 179.99. Here is the link in the description for the Amazon purchase for those who want it. However, I will always do my best to find legal sources. Crunchyroll.com. I'm pretty sure you can watch Black Lagoon on Crunchyroll, though, so I'm pretty sure I saw it once. I'm not going to be entirely sure until I see it. Alright, give me a second here. Black Lagoon.
So a question about the Neptunia characters.
Sure.
Okay, I've seen this on another Discord server
Okay.
that the characters they have something known as the chaos form.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do. And I am sure you are curious as to where that is from.
Yeah,
And that comes from a game called Chaos Shanparu. It's a Japanese only game. It is a Japanese only game, and these chaos forms are kind of similar to like when Kurome in Mega Dimension made the Goddess's Ball, but it's a different element at work making the same thing happen.
well,
So,
thanks.
so now, but it's going to be tricky to get Chaos Shanparu because you have to kind of have you're gonna have to have a few things. A spare memory card. B, a PS Vita. C, a Japanese PSN account. Fourth is an unmentioned one, but how to navigate without actually being able to speak Japanese if you can't speak Japanese. Um, but all you have to really do is you have to look if you need a way to come figure out, you know, Chaos Shanparu and its its Japanese translation is all you have to do is go to like Google Translate, type in Chaos Shanparu. I'm sure you can find it from there. But it is actually a very entertaining game, despite being a card game.
Hmm.
But it is a card game, so I do keep that in mind. Okay, let's see here. Okay, yes, it is. Black Lagoon is indeed on Crunchyroll. I don't.
So one man,
Yeah.
what was the first anime you ever saw?
Okay. That's a good one. That is always something people are probably curious about. And it's actually pretty, it's a pretty interesting story. Okay, so basically, I was a 6-year-old. I was in Medford living with my family. We were like going I think we went up to like a Portland trip in Portland, Oregon, and we were because I think it was for my dad's my late old man's job interview for a job he was looking for up in Wilsonville or Portland or something like that, and we were starting to set up for this and all, and we're at a hotel, and what the first channel that is put on the TV is the WB. And back in those days, I was an only child. And so back in that day, they put on like the WB channel, and the first anime I saw was the first season of Pokemon. And I remember as a 6-year-old kid thinking that was like the coolest ever show I've ever absolutely seen. And it was just the most back when I was a little kid, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And all I wanted to do was be a Pokemon gym leader and play all the games and be playing with like the Pokemon cards. and I even got like red in I got like blue for my 8th birthday from my old man, along with a strategy guide and a Game Boy Color. And he had saved up money from, instead of purchasing clothes for himself, you know, um, instead of purchasing like himself casual jeans, he would save up money to buy me all the cool Pokemon stuff that I wanted growing up. And it's like, it was the coolest thing ever. And ever since then, I became a fan of anime. And then after watching Pokemon, I had access to Digimon, and then I had access to Monster Rancher, and then I had access to Yu-Gi-Oh in middle school, and then in high school I started getting more into the stuff like Inuyasha, Naruto, all the other different series. And to be fair, John Pentagruel, I did want to ride atop a Rapidash. Um, um, and then, but I didn't really get into the full time, hardcore watching of anime until the age of 18 when my old man passed away, and I was looking for something to watch on TV to distract myself from feeling depressed all the time. And the first anime I saw was Bleach. And then from there on, I started discovering the internet and how you could watch different stuff online. And ever since then, I just really got into this. So that is how I got into anime in general.
So for my story of how did I got in anime,
Mm-hmm. Continue.
I got a Nintendo 3DS.
Hmm.
My first anime game was Pokemon, the
Nice.
Pearl version. But I didn't make Pokemon as the first anime I've seen, but as the first game.
Oh, well, that's good. It
But look, but then the time passed. So I started to want to know more about Pokemon. So I went to the Google, searched some stuff. I also checked images. But then I encountered with this image, this anime poster,
hmm.
and I click on it. It was a kid. I don't remember what year. I mean, how old?
Did you happen to have the title of the anime per se, or did you?
Yes, it had.
Um,
And the anime was Sailor Moon.
that one is a classic as well. Actually, I kind of read the manga in high school. Um, I actually read the manga in high school despite getting made fun of for being into anime and manga. But I actually enjoyed Sailor Moon. I don't understand why people give Sailor Moon such a bad rap. It's got a phenomenal storytelling structure. So
Well,
I can't blame you if you like Sailor Moon. It's a good choice. It's good taste.
yeah, but actually, I really started to see more. I wanted to start watching the episodes. That it's really a very classic anime. I
Yep.
really started to like it, but I kept it as a secret for I don't know what reason.
Well, I understand why people would, because a lot of people have a different image for different anime and what anime is to them. And a lot of people seem to think anime is like things like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Bleach, and all these high octane, high action based things. And so a shoujo anime kind of gets looked down upon if you are a male and you like shoujo anime because it's technically meant for the female demographic, but I as a person don't really pay attention to any like hierarchies or social structures or even care about that stuff. And so I just look for what the best stories are, and Sailor Moon had a phenomenal story. I was willing to pay the price. I was willing to pay the price. of being made fun of just so I could get the better stories out, you know?
Yeah, and after time passed on Sailor Moon, I started to watch more episodes. But then there was this moment that I was on my computer,
Hmm.
and actually, I was searching for some more Sailor Moon.
Okay.
But then there was a moment that I looked behind, and there was my sister behind me.
Hey, I mean, if she likes Sailor Moon, more the merrier, man. I mean,
Like I
more.
was like, oh no! Then I put my hand on the. Uh, yeah, sorry about that.
No, no, no. You keep going, keep going.
Well, on the anime, I started like I put my hand on the screen because I was so embarrassed about it.
That's that. I mean, I don't see. I I I I don't see why would it be embarrassing, but your story reminds me of an anime that I think you should check out. I just put it in the live chat description for the
Thanks.
podcast, and I think you might like it because it's an older anime, but it's your story really actually reminds me of the premise of this series, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, nice, thanks for it. And but then there was I don't know, but there was this episode that I really had to click out, and it was almost in the final battle.
Oh, dude. I mean, priorities, man. Priorities.
I never know anything about the last battle.
Priorities, man. What the heck? I mean, you should be willing to sacrifice a little embarrassment. Why would you do that? Why would you do
Look,
that?
I never know. I never know.
I, okay, John Pentagirl, calm the fuck down. I ain't. I am. I'm not Hispanic, man. I ain't gonna be Hispanic. I mean, it's all well wishes and all, man. But I mean, it's not like I would be any good at Spanish, anyways. I tried Spanish. It was not for me. Um, I could not. I can't handle learning the Spanish language after I just learned German and such. So there's that. Anyways, but yeah, why would you do that? Like, to me, the best course of action would be to sacrifice a little embarrassment to witness the final battle. Uh, I think that made me lose a brain cell from like cringing so hard.
Look, I was watching before the final battle episode. I was just looking at what was happening before, but then I saw that. But then I saw this comment on the YouTube section of the comments,
Ah,
and I was like, "Wait." I was like, "Wait, what?"
and what was that comment, Esteban?
It's about the last battle, but
Oh, so it was like a spoiler comment.
a spoiler comment. But I really had to didn't look. I totally needed. I had to scroll down.
Ah, yes,
But
general.
also I had to put my hand on the screen because you know what Sailor Moon did.
Am I assuming she kissed Tuxedo Mask or something? Is that what I remember correctly?
Uh,
I'm gonna really
uh,
look that up real quick.
but then I totally looked up about more anime. So on my Nintendo 3DS, there was this very interesting game I always wanted.
Hmm.
I I forgot the name. I forgot the name, but it's about. It seems that the game takes place on a type of England scene
Hmm.
about this type of prof. Wait a minute, it's professor, but I don't know what.
Professor something.
Professor. He has a hat. he has like a type of black hat. He's like a type of, I don't know what are they called.
Give me a second here.
I think it's Professor Dayton or
Layton?
I
Professor
think.
Layton for the 3DS?
Yes.
That is the one right there. Professor Layton. Alright. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing it right here, right now.
It really always catch my attention. I never looked at much on YouTube because Nintendo's.
I just gave the official link for the site if any of you are curious. Anyways, sorry about that. Let's continue.
Nah, it's your time.
No, to me, podcasts are a conversation. They are so if someone brings up a topic, if I have to interrupt them, I will, but I don't necessarily mean to. So, continue what you're saying.
Well, and again about Professor Layton, I was always had it in my mind. Like I always checked the Nintendo eShop and was like, this. I watched the trailers like many times, but I never brought it. I never like told my dad he could buy it for me. But then I just, but then after I got an iPad 4, I just sold my Nintendo.
Okay,
After
Esteban. Apparently, John Pentagrel wants to ask how rich you are. God dang it, John. God dang it, John. John Pentagrel wants to know how rich you are. Esteban? Esteban? If you can hear me, let me know. Can you hear me, Esteban? Did your app crash again? Oh, there you are. Okay, go.
sorry, something happened.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just making sure.
Okay,
Anyways,
what was the question again?
John Pentagrel wants to know how rich you are.
Like rich of money?
Yes.
Well, I'm not rich, but I have the enough things to live.
Well, there you go. You heard him right, John Pentagrel. Esteban is middle class. All right. Well, there you go. Your question is asked there, John Pentagrel.
Any more questions you guys want to ask me?
Well, not me personally. All right. Well, since I already did the quick update on the sudden schedule change and why it happened, I'm going to go and dive right into the plans I have for the free days. Now,
Look.
oh, sorry. Did you need something there?
No, you
Esteban?
continue. I will say it later.
Okay. The plan. All right. So, due to the schedule change, the free days are now Mondays and Tuesdays. Now, with Mondays and Tuesdays, one of those days I do plan on doing some editing work with like a discussion video or a soundtrack or or something of that matter. And then the other day, I'm going to be streaming Golden Sun straight from a computer. And I figured that since Golden Sun is anime by my book and my standards, that I figure since my buddy K Kyle wants the uh, office hours closed, that I should that I want to give you guys straight up streams from my house, from my place, and instead of the office as usual. So. And since the Mondays and Tuesdays are free days, one of them's going to be me working on my personal computer, my laptop, to give you guys offline content as well as do a Golden Sun stream. So I am a huge fan of the Golden Sun franchise. Uh, to me, it's anime. I don't have visual novels I want to play John Pettigrew, or at least not any that don't cost money. Esteban, he's 16. Don't.
Wait, what?
John Pettigrew is asking a question that I don't think you should answer, because John Pettigrew is over 18. I can't condone that.
Well, tell him I'm 15, so watch out what he says.
There you go, John Pettigrew. Okay. Anyways, anyways, back to what I was going about is that I am a huge fan of the Golden Sun franchise, and I feel bad for having to constantly adjust the schedule because K Kyle wants a couple of days off, away from me doing my streaming to bring over friends and hang out with them. And at the same time, he wants me to adjust my schedule to my previous one, where I streamed during the day and then cut it off at 10. And so I'm going to slowly transition back to that schedule because I'm understanding he's trying to get another job, and he's got an interview on the 13th of next month. So I'm going to readjust the schedule to where Mondays and Tuesdays are days off. The podcast schedule itself is going to be a bit for a while until I find a good day and time this works. So that the podcast part is going to take a while. But later today, welcome Sam Noriega to the live chat. So the main game streaming is going to remain consistent, but just moved around slightly. But at the same time, there is one other thing, is that I don't know which day is going to be the best day to maximize interaction as far as my podcasts are concerned. So it's going to be a bit touch and go in that regard. So there is that. So I just had to let you guys know that there has to be a schedule change, and that what my plans are for the free days are doing some editing work, whether it be for OSTs or for discussion videos, etc. And another day, I plan on doing a couple of small Golden Sun streams. So, any questions in that regard, guys?
Not me.
All right.
Let our viewers ask.
Mm-hmm.
But also, something that I always see, like, all the time about anime is they always need to turn everything into a human.
Oh, yeah. I understand the exasperation with that craze. Like, especially the Monster Girl thing.
Like, we have, in some real life, you have an aircraft carrier, and on Japan, you have a girl as an aircraft carrier. You have a jet, you have a girl, then you have a...
Yeah, but you have, like, different types of ships. You have Concoal. Like, Kontai Collection, there's literally an anime named Kontai Collection. And I can literally go to the Crunchyroll right now and link it to you guys. It's all about fucking Navy ships.
Completely messed up is Japan. No offense.
None taken. I mean, Japan wasn't even smart enough to, adapt my novel, so I ain't even mad anymore. I ain't mad no more. I just ain't mad. I ain't mad.
Yeah. So about how's it going with the Sora no Senshu?
It's not going well at all. We're trying to get in
Damn it.
contact. We're trying to get in contact with Google, but Kyle's contact is not contacting us,
Uh,
and
to
right
be honest.
and right now, sorry, I gotta finish this one thing before.
Okay.
And the problem is that and we're trying to find Google's contact information, but their business email is very secretive right now. We're trying to figure out how we can contact them. But right now, I'm very pissed at the situation behind Okinawa Pictures, the fact that they couldn't get me any of the studios I wanted in the first place, and the fact that it didn't make it because of the terms and conditions I had set out. And that was the reason why it didn't make the last cut. He said they didn't like the terms and conditions. Sorry about that.
Wow. Still a promise, but look. Okay. Why Google when Google is like a type of I don't know. Google isn't a like an animating studio.
Right. Well, I can answer that question, but it's a two-parter. First of all, is that America right now is trying to strong arm itself in the anime licensing industry. There is Netflix trying to have licensing rights to certain anime, and there's Amazon who is trying to get into it as well with Amazon Strike. Albeit that Amazon Strike's not really doing so well because of their double paywall requirement. And what that means is that you have to both pay for a membership to Anime Strike and a membership to Amazon Prime. So there's that. And so that was the first part that gave me the idea. The second part is that Google is a billion-dollar company. And I believe that if I can get Google on the phone and we can discuss and we can determine and we can negotiate a contract, not only will I be able to convince Google to enter the same market as Netflix and Amazon Strike are doing, but at the same time also use their monetary resources to adapt my anime or adapt my novel into an anime, and as well as feature it as their main poster, their poster anime to draw in. And that's why I thought of Google is those two scenarios. Google's a billion-dollar company, and because it will take a little bit of production power and a bit of money to get people to be interested in. And the other thing that really inspired me in this was that people are complaining that animators and voice actors and all these other people are not being properly paid. And the way I see it is if Google has a setup to where they properly pay everybody involved, Google themselves, and this is where I'm going to hook Google in with the negotiations, is that if they promise those things to their employees that come over from overseas, there will actually be a greater flood of creators and consumers from that area to the Google American market. So that's the whole theory and build behind it, is that I use the most backhanded way I could possibly get to both get even with Japan for screwing me over and to get a proper set of funding. That was the
Uh,
entire thing.
I see. So, Journey Pantagruel, it seems I'm wilding out.
I don't even understand what that means.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
think anybody knows that. So it's all right.
Yep.
Anyways, back to. By the way, I got the link for Contact Collection / Concol. If you guys want to check it out on Crunchyroll, here's the link to it. This is what we were speaking of earlier: is that turning inanimate non-living objects into female moe girls. And it's actually, I think it's actually a mobile game that they put into adaptation. But it's been a while around longer than the anime has. The anime itself has. It's kind of similar to Senran Kagura and Neptunia as far as it comes from games. So that is the origin of Conco.
Hmm. So for your schedule, I know you changed it, right?
I kind of have to, because the person who runs the office technically combines his office with his room. So the way we have it set up is that he doesn't want me working on days he wants off, and or he doesn't want me working on days he has people over, and he's trying to get his own job schedule in order, and that is why his schedule is shifting around so much, because he went from working at Sears to being fired to being interviewed for Taco Bell on November 13th. So the reason why my channel is in transition is because the office itself is in transition. The office is dependent upon the person who runs the office's hours, so to speak. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Esteban?
Yeah, but something I recommend you to do is that on Microsoft Word, you try to do the schedule. So if you get confused in anything, I can like help you. It's like,
Sure, sure. You have a very good point there, and I. But generally, what I plan on doing is I usually release it in a video, but generally, uh, I decided that instead of doing yet another update video, that this time around, um, that this time around, instead I go and just lump it in with the podcast because of convenient timing. So that was why I decided to do it today and on this podcast.
oh. So about the Neptunia series, what about the Neptunia series? Something that I really like is the storyline.
Okay, what aspect of the
And
storytelling do you like? Do you like the character
well,
interactions? Do you like the basic premise?
character interactions.
Okay, alright, that makes sense. That is generally Natsumi's
Uh,
strong point.
Okay, so Jenny Pontra Girl has a question.
Okay, um, why does help make suffering infinite? Okay, John Pentagram. Now, normally I wouldn't answer this question seriously, but hope only makes suffering infinite.
Hey,
Who is this? Oh, and welcome for the podcast.
it's me.
Oh, hey there, Light Blanc, welcome.
I'm in the strip now.
You know it.
Welcome to the podcast.
So, anyways, now you kind of missed the main meat of the discussion earlier, so
It's fine. It's fine. I just wake up.
Light Blank.
What?
To recommend you when one man is talking, don't interrupt.
here,
Okay.
hold on. I'll put let me put it
Hi,
this way.
everyone.
All right. Well, the way here's how this works. Light Blanc. I talk about a topic. I get everything out there. Then we take turns discussing on said topics. And the reason why I want it to be as little interruption as possible is so that the podcast flows naturally. So if you ever have anything to if you ever have anything to say about it, and if you do need an interruption because there's something you need to like discuss at that point in time, just let us know ahead of time. And let's just
Okay.
so let's just make sure things are in somewhat a bit of a decorum. Anyways, And honestly, John Pentagruel, to be fair, a lot of Neptunia doesn't have a plot to it. So, I mean, to be fair.
I will just eat breakfast.
That's cool. It's totally cool. Anyways, now where was I? I think I stopped with talking about. Oh yeah, but to answer your question, John Pentagruel, hope only makes suffering infinite if it results in failure. Normally, I don't answer this question seriously, but hope makes suffering infinite due to failure. If you have hope and you use any means necessary to accomplish it and you succeed, hope doesn't make suffering infinite. Hope makes suffering non-existent. So, normally I don't answer those questions seriously, John Pentagruel, but the way I see it, hope only makes suffering infinite in failure. So, that question aside, now the next thing I want to discuss is what you guys would like to see as special guests in the future. From what I've been hearing from Emerald, one of the most popular requested is Senpai Blade.
Well, that's a really nice request.
Yeah. And I'm as you know, I consider myself a reasonable person, and if all parties involved are totally fine with it, I am more than willing to bring them onto the podcast, because the goal of this podcast is to bring a new level of accessibility to the community as a whole, and to make it to where people you thought you were unreachable and unable to talk to before, you could talk to now within the podcast. That is the goal behind this podcast, is to create accessibility to any and everybody. So, like, if any of you ever have a question or have something you need to talk to somebody about or are very intrigued as to who they are, that's what this podcast is for. For now, it's starting small by just bringing in myself and my fans.
Yep.
So
you're right on that.
So in that regard, I am always willing and open to any suggestions you are into as guests onto this podcast. So one of the most requested is Senpai Blade. That has been an opinion echoed within the other Discord server. So if
I know you.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go.
All I was gonna say is that if you ever want to request a guest, request it on either of the Discord servers. That would be the best way to request guests. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry about that. So, anyways, you were saying?
So, I know you want to invite Senpai Blade to the server, but he's always busy, so it may be hard to contact. But that's really can be a good request.
Okay. Well, it's not like I'm the only one putting in the request either. Emerald aka currently Diva Uzume, from the server, are making multiple requests. In that regard, all you have to really do is and if he is given enough, requests and other basic communications that, hey, we would love to see you on this podcast with OneMan, and by all means, it's not like, Emerald's the only one either. Everybody is trying to get, people on and access to it. So, but the goal of this podcast is to create a new level of accessibility between anime fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is that. That is the general goal of the podcast.
So about the NEP Korea, What's it about?
Well, that is something I came up with because one of the things I like to do on this channel is that if I am into a series or a franchise, I like to expand the lore, expand the meta, even if it is a fan in meta, a fan in lore. I don't like just simply playing a game. I like using games to expand lore or expand to make it bigger than it was previous. So with the whole Nep Korea thing, I want to make this a gimmick that goes all the way to the top and is so popular it eventually gets put into the actual canon. And that is why that's why I'm so into that, is that whenever I start something I try to finish it. I try to make it finish. You see what I mean? Like I don't want to. I want to make sure that
Yeah.
I leave behind something great. I want to leave behind something great so that and either expanding the lore or getting my own series turned into a novel. I have hopes and goals just like everybody else, and I am just the only person willing to go to any lengths and depths possible to attain that. So that's why I do that, is to expand the lore, to create something new.
Well, that's a nice commentary. But about then something else about the Neptunia series is about the if I think about. Just give me some time. You continue the discussion. Oh, wait a minute.
What were you gonna say there, Esteban?
Look, oh yeah, first of all, sorry about this. Is that sometimes the audio cuts, so I had to leave and join back so I can hear others.
Okay, so I need to pay attention to the Discord server then for when you cut out. For when
Yeah,
so I have to pay attention to when your little icon on the Discord pops out.
yeah, sorry, yeah, but
Okay, so
on something
okay, so
in some
all right,
in something about the Neptunia series that I see about is one of the things that kind of problems me is the what's it called, the fan service.
Yeah, yeah. This one's a bit of a a bit of a smoking gun of a topic though. Oh hey, look, what's his name is on Diva Uzume. All right, Light Blog, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I see.
Your mic is muted. If you want to weigh in, you gotta unmute the mic, man.
Yeah.
So, what exactly about the fan service actually bothers you?
The fan service that bothers me. Well, there are many scenes in the game that you know,
Well, I know
like
pretty much all of the fan service scenes, but
like
the ones I'm curious about are which ones you find to be a problem.
like the time Iris Heart traumatized IF, like mini IF.
Oh man, to me, I love that one. That one like legitimately like made me laugh. I mean, I understand why people would have a problem with that because it is slightly disturbing, but I just took it as the thing about fan service is that it doesn't really bother me really. I mean, it's like okay, these are what other people are doing. What am I doing? You know, like I don't. I have a bit of a weird disconnect with people when it comes to like things they are like they get easily upset about that I don't necessarily understand. So, what about that scene do you dislike in particular though?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry about that, but I really don't want to talk about it.
Okay, understood. Nightmares and all, but can you mention a scene that you might have a problem with that you can talk about?
a scene that really bothers me. Well, I have bad memory, but something. One of the Neptunia scenes is number one. Is in the transformation scenes.
Okay. And
That's something.
yes, that is something, isn't it? Like, I think that the only thing I actually enjoy about Iris Heart is her transformation sequence in the anime.
Yeah. But so well. Oh, what? You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, great. I'm just testing out.
All right, good.
So, which type of what type of anime genres you like?
Well, there's a lot of different ones, but my preferences are psychological, horror, moe blob, shonen. I'm always going to have like that chuny aspect that I really like.
I like lube.
Romance, comedy. Really, it's more. I would say it's more productive to find the ones I dislike, and those would probably be Mecha and BL.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello,
hey there,
Diva Usume.
Hey, hello.
Hey there, Light Blanc. Welcome to the podcast. How's it going, Emerald? How's it going, Light Blanc?
It's going great, dude. Just the usual.
Makes sense.
Diva Uzume.
Well, he's Diva Uzume, but I know him as Emerald Eye, so I just call him Emerald.
If anybody gets the reference to that Discord name, props to you.
I think.
Hey.
Is that like a is that a fanon thing, or is that like a legitimate like within the series?
It's a super dimension thing.
Oh, the Diva class.
Just brush my teeth. I will just brush my teeth.
The Diva class. Oh, I love when I saw. When I saw Senpai Bait's video of the Diva clans, I was like, Uzume as a diva, like, it was so funny.
I do. I honestly think it's well fitting. I don't know why he was upset about that. Like, to me, that makes sense. Like, what better class than a diva to shout into a megaphone?
Yeah. Uzume is like megaphone. He's like power of like it's able to explode someone's ears.
Right? Like that could be used as a great tactic, and it's just like, come on. Like, yo, Emerald, you kind of went silent there, man. You okay?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to set my home screen for my iPad.
Everybody with their iPads, and the only iPad I have is like a Generation 1.
Oh, sorry.
No. Right now I'm perusing Yahoo News for stories and such, but that was what I was going to use Yahoo for, was searching for the Diva reference. But then I'm like, oh wait, the moment Emerald mentioned that, I'm like, oh wait, it's a Diva class because of Super Dimensions. Emerald, I have gone through pretty much my main chunk of topics for my podcast. If you were to check any of the topics in the link of into the description of the video, do you have any impressions about any of the anime that I've mentioned, or my update schedule, or anything like that? Do you have any impressions about New Game Season 2, Classroom of the Elite, or Gamers?
Give me half a second.
The links are in the chat too, so.
Oh, come on, I got
what?
Is this? I just got a survey on YouTube.
Oh, well, what's the survey?
Which type of Mexican TV shows you seen?
For me, I always get like what movies you've heard of, or which brands you've ever used,
Yeah,
etc.,
same.
etc. It's their way to make up for the lack of advertisers, and it's their way to try and keep costs and keep people's ads running when they add ad sources, because the apocalypse really screwed up a lot of videos in that regard. So they used surveys to kind of make up for it.
So now, one man.
Oh, actually, I do have a
Tell me,
topic that
what is it about?
Yeah, go ahead,
uh,
shoot. Go ahead, Emerald.
that would actually be the lots of bugs they still have to fix in the new cyber dimension. Lots of programming errors that they need to fix.
One of
Trust
the
me, I've seen 20 billion of them through my.
one of the I don't mind like the cyber dimension stuff. The stuff that I don't like, especially, is the online gameplay. It reminds me of like 2003 RuneScape.
Oh, you mean where you have to create a room and stuff, and then.
Well, not just that. No, I was talking about like the signal when you're like playing online in a multiplayer party.
Hmm.
Like I figured they would, learn from their mistakes with Mega Tag Mention's internet servers, but their internet servers, I don't know how, but it got worse somehow. And see, this is what my concern is for Tamsoft, is that it's going to always try and invoke multiplayer gameplay, but as long as they keep using the whatever programming they're using, it's going to absolutely suck. So I don't know if you were talking about the multiplayer or whatnot, Emerald, but were you talking about? Were you talking
I'm
about
more
any?
referring to just like the game. They still got a lot of bugs they need to fix, like especially character programming.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
Um,
really like. I think one thing they did do that I didn't like is the fact that they didn't, fix the bugs within like the map exploration. That like the fighting mechanics and the fact that the clips are like flickering when you're like moving around in a map, and sometimes you can like even glitch through a character if you're like going through the map textures wrong.
Oh, also, what some things that happen to me a lot is that the characters will kind of stay behind a wall or a corner because they don't know how to go around it.
Great,
Oh,
thank you for mentioning that. I didn't even think
oh,
to mention that.
Janae.
Like, holy cow! Like, see, this is why I don't like Tamsoft. They don't improve at all. They, as a company, get worse. It's one of the first times I've seen a gaming company actually progressively get worse somehow. Like they're taking out aspects of Neptunia that are good, and they're trying to cut costs in programming and all this other stuff whenever they fucking can, and it's driving me nuts. Like I've literally said in my latest discussion video that Tamsoft's best game was Action U Unleashed. Like, because with Action U Unleashed, their animation was solid, their gameplay was solid. They didn't try to run a multiplayer server they're clearly not capable of running. Everything made sense and worked. But with Mega Tag Mention, the story sucked. The the story, first of all, the story sucks. Then there's the multiplayer aspect that really reminds me of 2003 RuneScape, um, and like the connection issues and such. And the thing that really sucks about Tamsoft in general is that their fucking action RPG shit is taking quality and throwing it down the drain. Because like I don't want to continuously play beat 'em ups. There's no point to me beating up a cheap gathering of doggies and flowers. Or sunfloras or however you call them. And it's just like I don't know how Tamsoft gets worse.
Like I know Felistella from like the Reaper series didn't do so hot at first, but they at least improved and even perfected in Super Dimension. Why does how does a company get worse with experience? How? Like you would think that would be basic muscle memory if nothing else. Is it ran by monkeys?
Maybe, probably.
Well, about a company getting worse. Well, my point of view, I think that we had like learn more what they do, and they had to be checking and checking. What do they see wrong? Like one man, give me an example of something that's getting worse.
Okay, I can easily give you an example. And this example is about the most basic I can give you. Is that with the animation style, there's less breathing mechanics, there's less motion mechanics, there's less components that make the characters stand out from the background to where it feels like, to me, Cyber Dimension feels like you could make the cutscenes alone on a pretty cheap budget. Like, I could probably just take the Cyber Dimension Neptunia backgrounds, take character renders, and then, add in text boxes, text, and then for the animations, I can use a cheap 2D animation program to do the mouth animations. Whereas with Action You Unleashed, the characters are dynamic and talking. They're able to fit 6 characters on the screen at one time with full motion, with breathing mechanics and everything. There's more characters moving around in the cutscenes. There's, they're still holding to the same Neptunia story quality, but, they're not overstepping their bounds and they're not taking anything out in Action You Unleash. Whereas with each game, it's progressively taking more and more out. Now, while Cyber Dimension's story is an improvement from Mega Tag Dimensions, because God, that was awful with Mega Tag Dimension, they didn't really improve much else and progressively got worse. Do you know what I mean by that, Esteban? Do you know what do you notice? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way I see it, it's progressively getting worse. And their stories are hit and miss. With Cyber Dimension, Tamsoft's mechanic works because it's based around the same action focus that that Tamsoft is good with. With Mega Tag Dimension, that really didn't work was that they were trying to combine pretty much. It's pretty much a combination of High School of the Dead and Love Live. I bet you appreciate that reference, Emerald. Because it's like a bad rendition of High School of the Dead combined with a bad rendition of Love Live.
Yeah, it's like almost like one of the movies. Well, I know you're not into movies, but I'm just gonna say this quick.
Okay.
But just like the same thing you say about the animating. Well, in the 4th movie of the Transformers, known as the Age of Extinction, I like it, but I just started to say it was a really bad movie because number one, or like it's like well, the
I'll be straight up
script.
honest with you. I actually somewhat
You were
liked. I somewhat actually liked Transformers 1. After that, though, no.
But then something about the, like you say, the animating, characters moving around, the breathing. Well, Michael Bay they didn't put his effort on it because on the human robots that the company called KSI made, the prototypes. Oh man, they only use digitalized transformations. Like you had a vehicle, and then it turned into like little cubes. It turned into little cubes, and then it turned into the robot.
That doesn't make sense.
And really didn't like it. It's just pure digitalized. And then like something that are the transformations. They have a total lack of transformations. And the characters, they don't do that much. Like for example, the Autobot Drift in the 4th movie, the only thing he did, something I felt disappointing was his like helicopter mode. that he had a helicopter mode, but he never used it. He only used it to go to Optimus and to bring Bumblebee into a building. That's all. After that, nothing.
Exactly. Well, that is. I'm glad you made that comparison because that is actually a pretty solid comparison. In that,
But
what you're saying is entirely right, Esteban. Is that with Transformers, one of the things I notice is that as the trend goes on, the creators focus on the wrong things to improve. And that's the thing, is that Cyber Dimension suffers the same thing as Transformers is. They're taking out good things that people like in it, and they're focusing on the stuff that people don't like. And in a movie maker's case, if you're making a movie, you have to find a hook or a way to keep people, interactive or feeling like they're interacting with the experience. And Michael Bay is just not good at that. He's not good at creating a continuous franchise. And clearly Tamsoft isn't either. I noticed that your notification, Diva Uzme, aka Emerald, is going off. Were you trying to say something?
What notification?
Well, I'm looking at my Discord app, and I keep seeing your circle pop up, and I was wondering if you were trying to say something, or...
Oh no, I wasn't trying to do anything. That's just weird.
it just must be like kind of reading or
What's weird, Emerald, if I may ask?
Oh no, I was just referring to the situation.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome, Juan Galvan.
Oh, yeah, Juan has been on, but I think he's just coming on to laugh at us, so...
Yeah, I've just been laughing.
Oh, there you go. There you go. See? Anyways.
But now after they made Transformers like the last night, now it seems now they put all of their efforts and energy into it, because now in Transformers the last night, now you have more Transformers that speak. Like for example, there's this Autobot known as Day Trader.
Okay.
The good thing, he wasn't one of those characters that they only just stay there. He really talked, he did something, and they did a lot of good job. Like they added like a lot of transformations. Uh, they did a lot of great CGI. Well, except for Bumblebee, I can totally see the CGI on it.
Well, that I could actually use that to tie back into cartoons, because what the Transformer cartoon did well, and what the movies do not, is that the cartoon most often focused on the action and the Transformers themselves. But one of the biggest dissonances I've had with the movie series led by Michael Bay is that there's a little bit of an over-focus on the humans involved. And I know why.
Yeah.
And I know why they do this, because it's a typical Hollywood practice to try and humanize all their works. But at the same time, the story writing kind of does that for themselves. It doesn't need to focus on humans without feeling entirely alien to the people watching. But the way they overly focus on the two characters involved, and all the like soldiers and all this other stuff, makes it feel less like a Transformers work and more like a pro-military work, which I'm fine with on its standalone. But when you're trying to integrate the two, it doesn't pan out well. So
Yeah, you're right on that. It's more like a type of human movie, not a Transformers movie.
well, hey, at least this is entertaining to some people. Anyways,
I believe a movie for humans, by humans, would be esoteric to humans. But my apologies.
no, that's a fair complaint, but as a creator, I try to keep within sensibilities, and the whole point of being esoteric is to portray an aura of sensibility in the first place. So you are entirely correct in that. But
One last thing. Esteban, did you say watch out what you're saying?
Well, what do you mean?
oh, that was because of what I told him you had said in the chat section, and why I was not okay with you saying that, because that is not, to me, that is not cool in that regard because of that stuff. So I'm trying to make sure everything works out on a legal base there. One, I want to make sure I don't want legal issues to bring down what I'm trying to build here. So
Alrighty, I understand. Forgive my impetuousness.
no
Because
problem,
just he
dude.
said watcha what you said, and I
Well, he
instantly
said that in
thought,
response to like saying, it's like it was a comment you had under John Pentagruel that was
yeah,
really
I was just saying because watcha is a catchphrase of George Lopez.
Oh, watcha? Did he say watcha? I said watch out is what I thought he said.
Sorry.
Wow.
So, I mean, I only know little bits of George Lopez. I'm not super into him as a comedian, but I do know him. But so I'm not familiar with the phrase watcha, but in that regard, I didn't even know that was what the whole thing was. But
Well, this time of season always happens to remind me of Toradora. Anyone else get that vibe?
Toradora, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a fall season, and I always remember this time of year really reminds me of like the romance times between Ryuji and Taiga.
Exactly. It's like all the regret of all the year just stagnates into this fall/winter time, and it makes you really think.
Yeah, and my biggest frustration in life is that most women can't see eye to eye with me, and I'm always so turbulent of a personality that I barely get along with the same gender, let alone with opposite gender. Like, even I wouldn't mind a great girlfriend, but combination of me being repulsive and me having unrealistic standards. Huh?
A Goss GF or what? Or just basic?
Pretty much just like high. My type is the rich girl type, the well-mannered, the high-class stuff. That's why that's kind
Good
of
luck
my
with that.
right. Thank you. I know. I'm aware, guys. I'm aware. I get crap from it from my buds all the time too. So don't worry about it. It's nothing new to me, man. I'm fucking Teflon at this point.
Oh, guys. Do you remember the time when on OneMan's live streams? This is so funny. We also like quoted and took a screenshot of it. Do you remember, guys?
Yeah, I remember.
about like G comp size.
What?
I say a lot of quotable things that are just absolutely batshit insane.
Yeah.
Oh, the best one has to be while all of you were hanging out with girls, I was studying. And
Studying, yes, that is.
And you were going out with girls that would eventually become prostitutes.
Well, that's general. To be fair, that's based off of my own personal experience because after the fact is that I check up on the girls who would always make fun of me in high school. And
in my school, everybody just vapes.
Wait, what?
Do you live in Denver?
There's just a lot of all like I guess the like cool that your average guy is just like some vapor.
Oh my god,
bro!
New age hipsters. New age hipsters.
All the girls in my high school, they're like totally crazy.
For me, in my high school, it's always the jocks go with the girls who pretty much the cheerleaders. Yeah. Also, kind of I don't know, just a freaking. They only go. There's a lot of gold diggers.
Yeah, they don't want no broke ends. I'm not gonna go as far as to say that word, but yeah, that is exactly how a lot of them are. That's why I don't pick any random chick. It's like I want top quality. And
I think you gotta either act top dollar or like be personality quality wise top dollar.
I mean,
to
me personally, that's like personal, opinion on that regard. But I mean, I personally believe I act top class. But just
Emerald, where do you exist in that spectrum?
I honestly don't know.
Oh, I guess that's the best answer.
I mean,
like I'm not exactly hunting out a girl. I like being single.
I mean,
I love.
Keith, don't get me wrong. You know that what I'm saying in that regard is that will probably be like the only regret I have after everything's all said and done and everything's already
Who needs
accomplished.
3D women?
Right? 3D women are not important.
They don't love you.
Not me.
Guys, just
Rated
to
R.
tell you, I'm single, but I'm totally tired of waiting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, due to past events, I'm not interested in dudes. Sorry.
You don't understand what I mean.
Damn.
Sorry, man. It's nothing personal. It's just personal events in the past have completely
I think
eliminated
baking soda is good for burns. I believe I've heard that before.
What?
Oh, did you just admit you got burnt, my friend? Did you just admit you just got burnt?
Wait, who was talking? Who was I talking to?
I don't know. Who were you talking to?
Wait, what?
Didn't you just do a winger on somebody right now?
A what?
A what?
A winger?
What's that?
Never mind. Forget me.
I'm sorry, I was confused. All I said was that, sorry, I'm not into guys because of past events. That's all I said. You said something about you being, lonely or something, tired of waiting or something like that.
I didn't say that.
Oh, who said tired of waiting? Who was that?
Me, Ultra Lagger.
Ah, crap. Sorry about that, Esteban. I thought that was
Come
Juan
on.
being it. I thought that was
Let
Juan
me
being
tell
Juan
you.
again.
You just discriminated on me.
Well, to be fair, preference is the ultimate form of discrimination, but...
Ah, I see.
But on the thing that I mean of tired of waiting, I don't want to be single anymore.
Aren't you like
I-
15?
Listen,
Yeah, you shouldn't
confess-
even be interested in dating until you're 18, personally.
What are you doing?
Come on.
Those
You're
are
in school to learn. That was the attitude I took, and look at who I am now. I'm the smartest guy in the room always. It's just you go to school to learn, not to socialize. You learn how to socialize when you're an adult. It's like
Uh,
¿No estás en la primaria?
no.
And look where that.
Let me do something. Wait, what is the thing? What is the thing?
A dank
here.
meme?
No, here it is. There we go.
let's go. Your dogs are going ape shit in the background. I don't know who said it.
What?
Someone's got dogs in the background and they're going absolute ape shit right now.
Actually, I have a dog.
Hold on, I'll be back.
All right.
R.I.P. Anyway, back to discussion. I do believe flat is justice. Anyone were to care to
Any
type.
Any type is fine. Okay.
Flat is
No,
total
no.
justice, okay? That's
everything
the
and
meme.
nothing?
The meme literally was created by the character Nisa, so it's just that's literally how the
All right,
meme
but
goes.
to the argument that anything is good, anything and nothing are synonymous. So you have to take a position.
No, I'm pretty sure those are antonyms. I'm
I'm
pretty sure
well, for the
nothing
sake
is the
of
inverse of everything,
Oh my
Well, for the sake of argument, if you had a preference, which one would it be?
If I had a preference, I wouldn't be saying anything or nothing. I would be saying one specific thing. So, my preference would be generally female, with these kinds of specs, etc., etc., etc. I wouldn't say nothing or anything, so,
I was just trying to make a. It's all right.
I don't know what you're trying to, come up with a metaphor for, so I'm sorry if it was
Oh, it was a tangent towards him saying that that it doesn't matter the position that you take.
Okay, one
as long as
man.
it's
So
a
you
female.
recommend me to be 18?
I would. I mean,
Fucking
I'm trying to
happy.
create a society here where that very thing exists. To me, you go to school to learn, you become an adult to work and have relationships. To me, people are not mature enough to have relationships until they know what it's like to be in the adult world. Because until you're an adult and in the adult world, you don't have all the tools that you have as an adult,
That's absolutely correct. You shouldn't be trying to grow up too soon. You should enjoy your moments that you have right now.
A lot of the bad things I've dealt with in life were me trying to grow up too soon.
Exactly. You, how can I put this? You squander the moments that you
Huh?
have.
Like, if,
How do
to
you?
me, you can't hook a winning lady unless you are either lucky or an adult. And my old man may have been lucky enough to find his one at the age of like 16, but you know, I don't believe that 95% of the people will be that lucky to find the right one until way later down the line. And if you simply, I personally put a lot of time into studying all sorts of different classes and things that should have been well above my means as a high school student and a middle school student. Like, I was taking AP Governments, AP Economics, AP European History, all of which are technically college level courses. And I was taking AP European History in junior year and AP Economics and AP Governments in senior year, which is already beyond normal means. Like,
Guys, do you hear that? He's flexing on us.
Sorry about it.
he's flexing. You're doing a bit of a. Are you trying to do a bit of a bench press there, Ultra Liger?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's we're joking around because the sound your mic is making.
The sound?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Something about your mic keeps popping in and out, and we're just joking around about that. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that's what it is.
So, S1, you had an iPad and a Nintendo?
I had a Nintendo time ago, but I sold it. I sold my Nintendo time ago.
So
Let's see.
Let's run through what I have. I have a laptop. I have a 300 Uji 19-inch tablet. I have
What?
an Uji. It's a type of drawing tablet, and it's got its own like whole separate screen to where I can like go back and forth between my computer screen and my my drawing tablet. I have a PS3, a PS4, a PS Vita, a PS TV, a big screen TV, which is like a 44-inch. I have an Xbox 360. My buddy K Kyle has an Xbox One, which I can just play at any time I want.
Damn.
You have a lot of consoles.
You do.
I put over $4,000 to $5,000 into this channel alone.
Dang, that's gonna turn your nose up at.
No, well, I make about 1,176 a month, and then when you subtract 571 of your expenses, yeah, I do end up getting about 600 to 6 a month to spend, and then subtract 200 of that for snacks and drinks, and then I have about $406 to spend on whatever. So,
are they just giving out money in Oregon like candy? Like, here you go. Just
no, I have.
Just kidding, just a joke.
I have had some criminal history stuff that enabled me to get a paycheck to supplement myself whenever I actually go and do different jack of all trades stuff. So I have a stable income, but it's not like I'm also not working. I'm doing other stuff on the side as well. But my base paycheck is $1,176 a month due to some criminal history stuff. So, like, I used to have a criminal. I used to have a criminal history, and now it's gone, thankfully. But I still got grandfathered into what that stuff got me entitled to. So.
Well, okay.
Well, how's Cyber Dimension going? You play it yet?
Yeah, I've been playing it a bit. The way I'm setting up though is I'm going to play it like once a day, or once a week. I mean, and the way I'm setting it up, with me when I play games now, I don't play games unless I'm playing them for my YouTube channel. I mean, I love the series. Don't get me wrong, but I want to share every second of the experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do have good news, is that we finally got most of the stuff taken care of for Mega Dimension VR. Because apparently when the original problem was dealt with, when they delivered it to the wrong place, and they failed the second time, this time around, they actually had like the main boss of the company actually order it. And so while they got me the full Royal Famitsu pack or whatever, I didn't get express shipping. I got economic, so I have to wait like 10 to 14 days or something like that, according to what my buddy arranged for me. So,
Well, that sounds like good news.
yeah, it is good news. Honestly, things are turning out better now for the most part, except for a couple things here and there. I'm still frustrated over my novel, but other than that, that's the only thing really I have to deal with now. Everything else is going good for me, but my buddy, not so much. He's gone through some stuff himself, so
I understand.
I have been trying to keep myself from pressuring him too much. That's why I'm so willing to move my schedule around for him, because he's trying to get back into the workforce, and he's one of those kinds of people who cannot stand not working.
Oh yes, I understand. My bro's like that.
So and I'm willing to make accommodations because that's what a good friend does.
Absolutely.
So that's why my schedule's been changing around so much. I do apologize in that regard.
So y'all heard any good songs lately?
I listen to good music here and there. Probably one of my favorite songs, though, right now is 15 Minutes by Shattered Skies.
15 Minutes by Shattered Skies.
It's a good song. It's a bit of a rock song, so you know how I am. I like that rock metal sound. I do love that. I do really love that, soulful sound that you introduced me to, like Joy Division. I really love that stuff. That stuff actually really appeals to me, actually.
Yeah. I've always been a sucker. Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
So apparently, there's this video game that's on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, known as Elite Dangerous. Space game. It's totally cool. But apparently, the entire world is a recreation of the Milky Way galaxy.
That is.
But apparently, there's a solar system. There's a solar system that has almost the name as Uzume.
Tell fella what I usually get. Go.
There's a solar system that is almost called Uzume.
Huh. That is pretty funny. I don't even know what they based the name Uzume on for that name. They never really specified. Like for Plutia, Plutia makes sense because Plutia is a play on Sega Genesis, which is what Mega Drive is in Japan. That's what
name.
Did you say something? Okay.
No, you continue.
I believe he was trying to flex on you with his knowledge. He said actual.
That's why I was pausing. I'm like, oh, Humberto Namai says that Compa is love.
I'm so sorry for the noise at the background. Somebody's using a hammer on the wall.
Yeah, that makes sense. The person who runs the place I am staying at does a lot of home improvement himself, so it's like, I just learned to tune it out. But what I was trying to be more considerate of was you talking, because you were trying to say something. So
Esteban, what are you gonna say? You said actually, so.
Yeah, about the noise in the background.
Oh, I thought you were gonna explain. Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. Because all I was going to say was that Plutia's name is based off of Sega Pluto, which is actually a play on the Genesis or the Mega Drive in Japan, whichever you want to call it.
Or might be get from the planet.
No, they're basing this, well, maybe with Neptune, but other than that, the others are based off of consoles. In some way, in shape, and form.
Oh, that noise.
Nah, it's okay. It doesn't bother me any. What bothers me is Ray Wright's voice.
Ray Wright's voice. Oh. Ray is big, to be honest.
If I could have a much better voice VA, she would be like my favorite thing ever.
But what about her voice in Japanese?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
her
talking
voice is
about. Her
awesome.
Japanese voice. I hate
And
her
her-
screechy voice. Have you heard?
That's the one.
Have you heard Yu Kobayashi in any other role besides Rei? Like,
Liz Cortez, the guy.
she voices purple-haired chick in Gintama. She voices the blonde chick in Senran Kagura. She has different roles that she's voiced, and she sounds the exact same in all of them. And she has this like really grinding, screechy sound that I just can't stand, and I'm super sensitive to sound.
What about Blanc's English voice? Isn't that the same as Haruhi Suzumiya's?
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
gonna ask
Yes, it
that.
is. Yes, it is. And the thing
She's
that
my hero.
Haruhi
Think I like
Suzumiya,
Yeah.
I love Haruhi Suzumiya too. I love her so fucking much. But honestly, I think she doesn't. She's one of the VAs I think who doesn't add to Blanc's character in a good way. To me, she adds less, and she actually takes away from the character. Because the Japanese Blanc, and I always compare Japanese first, English second, so bear with me here, is that Japanese Blanc is a quiet, shy introvert who doesn't give fucks until she's pissed off, and then she gets aggro. But with the voice of Haruhi, she's always acting like she's aggro. She's like always acting like she's on the aggro anger level talk, you know. She doesn't really come across as an introvert. She comes across entirely opposite of her original personality character.
I smell something good.
So the way I see it, you know, to me, if she had a better voice actress and had a better sound to it, I could totally get behind Ray because she has the aesthetic for the most part.
Oh, yes.
She has the aesthetic for the most part. The silver hair, the mannerisms. You know, she's got much less offensive and much less bright colors. I love a woman in a good business suit. What can I say?
In that uniform, it's just,
Yeah. It is a great uniform, and it's like I love a woman in uniform, and it's nice. But
well, I'll have to agree with you. I'd be lying if I disagreed.
well, see, there you go. Emerald, are you able to talk right now, or are you still busy? You can
probably watching.
Light Blanc. You can have, as far as I'm concerned, Light Blanc. You can have Red Riding Hood. I get Alice. That's all I have to say. Alice from.
Okay, this guy took home Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, I like Red Riding Hood. Don't get me wrong. She's like the perfect combination of like God Eater and Blanc, but still, like. So yeah. So I think that about wraps up this podcast. It's right about that time. Anybody want to have any anybody want to have anything said in this regard, that any topics discussed or anything?
Let's talk about Fairchild Republic 18 Thunderbolt 2.
Oh, what? I meant like an actual topic. God damn it. I meant an actual topic.
How about the role of traps in today's anime society?
Oh, well, there you go. That's actually a good topic one. All right, because you know, that has always been a topic I've always been curious of discussing is traps. Okay,
Yes.
Now let's start with the basics. Are traps gay? Well, that depends on what you like about the trap. Do you like the feminine mannerisms? Then, you know, nah, not really. Do you like the clothing? Well, you wouldn't be gay necessarily. You'd just be into the cross-dressing fetish. Do you like it for the whole meme of the dick makes it better? Then yes, you are absolutely fucking gay. But traps, honestly, are totally misunderstood by the American community. All the people over here in America seem to think that traps are trans people, but all traps are just really good people who are
But not
really
at
and
They're
making
just
themselves look
men
female.
at their peak performance. That's what they are. That's all they are.
Depends
but
on what
not
you
a
define as
trap
peak
is like-
performance or one.
I'm just kidding. It's never mind.
Oh, come on, I was trying to play off of you. Damn it. Son of a bitch.
So about topics. What
Now,
about...
if we were gonna go with like straight up like ignoring trap stuff, like I'm gonna go with a platonic statement of like favorite trap per se. Like as a character, I would pick a Stolfa by far.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, understandable. Have a
mean-
nice day.
I mean, I'm sorry if it's such a plebeian answer there, Juan. I'm not as much of an
it's
expert
fine.
in that regard as you are, but
I just want to say that traps should not be pigeonholed into being plot devices for some random.
I mean, yeah, true. I do agree on that. But
That's
keep
my
in mind, there's also an example of where the opposite happens and it's not a good thing. Check out the anime Hime Goto. Check out that anime and you'll understand. So.
Alrighty, can you link it? Because I couldn't hear over.
Hime Goto.
Okay, Kime Goto.
I'll go to the Crunchyroll link. Please fucking sponsor me already, Crunchyroll. For fuck's sake. I could be your new voice and spokesman. And, like, I could make Crunchyroll a million times better. Let's make Crunchyroll great again. But, in all seriousness, I would love to have a sponsorship. I don't.
Another thing, could you do a line?
Oh, you mean the... if you haven't already, caress that motherfucking like button. Caress.
Thank you.
Give a like, or I'm gonna give you a free lag.
Free
Did you
lag.
say lag? Lag?
Yeah, right?
You are, Fizz-King.
Alright. Here we go.
Hey Esteban, how does my voice sound?
Your voice
It
sounds
sounds
fine.
good.
Your voice sounds fine.
Oh, I was worried. I thought it was gonna sound weak.
Nah, to me, I just sound very obnoxious and loud now.
Now you know, like my teacher always said, you have the voice of a weatherman.
Do I really? Ah,
I
I actually take that as a compliment. I don't know why, but I do.
Esteban, nomás juegue conmigo. Hay que trolear este guy.
So
Hey.
I linked it in the live chat for you.
Alrighty?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. Where's Emerald?
So apparently, guys, I have one of my best friends on school. I can't believe it. She is obsessed with what was the name of that character?
Which one?
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
Yeah, she's totally obsessed with him. Like
Awesome.
when we came to her home, she's like he's her husbando.
Nice. That's a good choice.
That's awesome.
Good
You should
choice.
marry her.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, that's a solid
Okay,
pick, honestly.
Now, guys, what is the thing that you most hate on anime?
That is a tough one. Probably mecha. I absolutely hate mech with a passion. There's literally only 3 series I've ever watched with mech that I've liked: Recreators, Code Geass, and Ashura Kami.
Also, one man, don't forget, Transformers is a mech anime.
I mean, yeah, but I don't like Transformers especially well either. I'm fine with it as a cartoon, but
I hate.
it's just not my thing either. So I don't watch it often. You know, it's
Okay,
like,
now, Juan Galvan, tell me what is the thing you most hate?
Over-the-top anime haircuts that distract from the plot.
you know what? That is a solid statement. Because seriously, like it becomes a meme almost at the point.
Exactly. It's just they're trying to make him not look so generic, but they just.
I mean, I understand not wanting to look generic, but still, they're just like creating the opposite problem.
Exactly. They just take away from it. It's like hearing a nice opera and having the
It's lazy writing.
performing, moving around.
It's literally
So
lazy
the thing
writing.
I most hate on anime, shall I tell you guys what I hate from
Yes,
anime?
please.
Go for it.
Please.
I hate 100% lollies.
Oh my God, this guy.
I
I
mean,
hate them.
I mean,
Mr.
I'm pretty sure
OneMan-
I'm pretty sure this guy's never heard of a concept called legal lolly, so I'm just going to just throw that out there.
All lollies must be illegal.
Mr.
Nope.
OneMan, where do you find these guys?
Where do I find what?
Nothing. Never mind.
Where do I find what, Juan? Were you trying to
Say it.
were you wondering where I found Hime Goto? Because I'll tell you. I found it out through mangahere.co, and it's a manga site I visit often. And I was running out of manga to read, and I just click on it. And I'm like, okay, this is a visually appealing manga. Didn't read the premise because I didn't have one at the time. Read the manga, and I'm like, crap. And I'm like,
Hey guys,
I'm like,
it's your N-word, Ethan King here. I have about as many girlfriends as I have concussions.
Hey there, Emerald. How's it going, man?
Oh, Emerald, you're back from Minecraft hentai?
Like,
Yes.
Like, come on, Ethan King. You got savagely eviscerated. Oh my god, fucking Light Blanc. Come on. Don't do this Subaru Kyun. Don't do that. Like, I mean, come on. Like, Subaru. I mean, like, Felix. Why? Felix is just a trap for the sake of being a trap. Like, why? There's no reason for Felix to be a trap. Like, it's not like you're gonna explain it away as Hime Goto, and you can't.
Exactly. It wasn't even like a wink. It was just, I hate that. Just make him a girl already.
Well, with Astolfo, you can argue him not being a trap. Like, there's never any actual implication in any way, shape, or... Whoa. Is there music playing in the background?
What is that?
I have to be very careful on that, because if any music comes in onto the podcast, I can
yeah.
I mean, if it were me, I would be playing a bunch of weeb music myself, but, copyright. But with Astolfo, at least with Astolfo, you can argue the point that he's not actually a trap.
Exactly.
Is Starting Days copyright?
Oh, wait, you're right. You're right on that. No, Starting Days is not, but I hate Starting Days. So.
Oh my god, no! Snoop Dogg signed the net.
Snoop Dogg signed what?
Look at it, look at it, look at it.
No way! What? Seriously?
Oh my god!
Why would you do that, Snoopity Doopity Dog? Why?
Yes! Snoop Dogg is a net fan.
I actually got respect points for him for that. Oh my god. That would be... Could you just imagine the fun conversations between OneMan and Snoop Dogg about the Nets? Oh my god.
Snoop Dogg really is a net fan.
Oh my god. I think literally the internet would die if OneMan and Snoop Dogg.
The thing is, there's going to be the faction of Snoop Dogg people who are like, wait, he likes anime?
Well, dude, could you just imagine the internet exploding with OneMan and Snoop Dogg talking fucking Neptunia? Oh my god. I don't think the internet could handle it. I think he would literally have to create a new internet rule depending on how the outcome of that came.
Wait, so Starting Days isn't copyright?
No, for some reason they're not copywriting the openings for Neptunia at all.
It's just too bad to copyright.
Yeah, like...
Copyright must be illegal.
Well, I don't... The issue with YouTube is their system is broken as fuck, and they don't understand transformative works, and that's what really irks me. It's like, you can't use, really, most of the stuff anymore. I literally have to look for... I can
start playing Starting Days at any moment. Just make...
Emerald, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I don't like Starting Days. It's the worst opening ever.
It's the greatest OP.
The greatest OP is Muso Catharsis. What are you talking about?
I forgot which one is that.
I can't believe it.
It's Mega Dimension's third opening, the one with Uzume. And I know
I
you're
can't believe it.
like,
Snoop
I don't
Dogg.
agree with Senpai Blade on many things, but I do agree that Uzu is bae.
He
Uzu
gets
Kuro
really
is bae.
triggered. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
I see it, he's an anime social justice warrior. That's what I see him as.
Honestly, I enjoy triggering him. It's really
I can't blame you. You know, it's just I would love it.
Like-
I would love triggering him, but the only times I've really ever triggered him are like when I said shit about Aaron
Hold on,
Fitzgerald.
guys. I'll be back in half a second.
Like, okay. The only time I've ever really said anything that triggered Senpai Blade was what I said about Aaron Fitzgerald. And he just went off the fucking rails on me. And I'm like,
But one man, when you told him that about Aaron, what did he respond? What did Senpai?
basically he said, you know, something along the lines of, please don't say this, this is a bad time. And I'm like, okay, no, that doesn't make sense. There's no such thing as a bad time and a good time.
Yeah,
Wrong.
same here.
Like, if you think I'm wrong, go ahead and fucking say it from day one. Don't pretend it's a bunch of social things. And keep in mind, I'm not a guy who pays attention to, who doesn't care about social structure and hierarchy. So, you know, this already sets off a bit of an egotistic fight between the two.
Dang it.
So it's like, you know, it's like, okay, you're telling me it's a bad time and it's a bad social situation, and I'm like, I don't pay attention. I don't care about that shit in the first place. I don't care about social stuff. Why would I? I have no reason to. You know, it's like, and it's just, Senpai Blade is literally the definition of an anime social justice warrior. Like, seriously, he hates action you unleash because of the lollies. He gets offended at what anybody says, even if it's the slightest bit of logic. Like, and as long as you upset his opinion, he's not going to listen to any other perspectives but his own. And it's just this, all the behaviors he displays is the behaviors of a social justice warrior. And it's just like, you know, he may not actually be one, but he acts like one. And it's just like, it's so easy to trigger those kinds of people, you know? Yo, Esteban muted his mic. Alright then.
I'm here. Sorry, I really need to mute myself.
Oh, it's fine. It's just like, you know, I got no response. I felt like I was talking to crickets. But also, please, it's fine to post memes and such, but don't post too many. I'm trying to keep this podcast section clean because I'm gonna, when I eventually get this podcast to be bigger and my channel to be bigger, I want to invite like actual insider, like anime insiders, you know, people like Noble or people like Senpai Blade. I'm worried that posting memes in like what I want to be semi-professional would actually scare them away, and that's what I'm concerned about. And so I would like to try and keep it as uncluttered and professional as possible, but I'm not gonna limit to what you guys say either. But let's try to keep things a little more on the level with my, you know, live streams and my main, you know, fan Discord server. I'm totally fine with you guys doing whatever, as long as it follows legal rules and all that. I'm totally fine with that. But the one thing I gotta stress is that this particular podcast server needs to be professional. So let's keep the memes to a minimum. I'm not going to be totally opposed to you guys having memes on here, but let's keep it to a minimum, please.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Just don't overdo it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, is that it's not overdone. It can still happen. It's just don't overload it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to scare away any potential actual guests in the future. But like I said, I created a server just for you guys to do as you wish, and so that was what I don't ever want you guys to feel like you're being censored or anything at the same time. But at the same time, fucking Emerald, stop with these starting days.
Oh, stop!
Stop with. Stop doesn't mean turn the volume up. Stop doesn't mean turn the volume up, Emerald. I want to fucking kill you.
This is my jam.
I know it's your jam, but still.
The stream. cut the stream.
No, I don't want to cut the stream yet.
There's only 3 minutes left.
It's so bad that Producing Perfection's opening is better. Like, God.
It'll just be background music, don't worry.
I know. But literally my top 3 are Muso Catharsis, Chaos and Creation, and whatever the name of Cyber Dimensions is. So, I will be making a video, by the way, when I do eventually get Mega Dimension VR, so. I got this special package as an apology for their constant fuck-ups, so. I got the highest package, and while I didn't get it express, I got it economic, so. When I do eventually get it, I'm going to make an unboxing video, because I got this special copy.
You got a what?
An unboxing video. Whenever someone, like, buys a console that's like special edition or a game series that is special edition or anything like that, there's a lot of gaming YouTubers out there who do these things called unboxing videos, where you take the box that you got that's a special edition.
Yeah, I know, and they're like, yeah, look at me unbox it.
Were you making fun of me for making fun of people who did that on my unboxing video for Cyber Dimension? I mean, I was being mocking and condescending. That was the entire point. It's like, look what I got. Woo! Woo! Like, couldn't you guys tell the sarcasm? Like, come on.
That's kind of one of the things that I kind of don't like about the whole unboxing thing. Is like, it's kind of like, oh my god, look what I got.
Yeah, that's
That noise, it's causing me to...
Yeah. Well, I've learned to tune that sort of sound out, Ultra Lagger.
This song is the greatest, guys.
Are you sure you actually mean that and are just not being a memer?
No.
Because I just can't comprehend it. Like, it feels like a shitty SAO opening.
I actually never saw SAO's opening.
Really? Oh. Well, then you're lucky.
I don't know. I think it's weirdly happy. Is that what it's it?
No, it's poppy. It's got that pop sound in it.
Oh god. It's funny, like, when it comes to Japanese games that, like, don't have much main developer support, they always, like, for their opening, they always use some, like, non-popular pop music. Because J-pop is, like, as easy to come by as any...
Well, it's because they sell their rights to it for cheaper. That's what it is. It's cost cutting in its most basic form. But what I want for once is for Neptunia to have like Maximum the Hormone or Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh dang it! The song's about to end.
Like, for me, it goes Muso Catharsis, Chaos and Creation, and then Cyber Dimensions, by far. Like, and a close fourth, just for, member berry's sake, is Rebirth 1. Even though the song absolutely sucks, like, it's got so many memories, and it's like, member. So, there's that.
Non-copyright sounds.
Yeah, I hate that fucking shit, dude. That shit is garbage. Absolute garbage.
Hey guys, I have the next best song.
If you're playing Mark 2, I'm going to find a way to kill you, I swear. Hold on. I don't know if that one's a Neptunia-ish song. Is that one a Neptunia?
Oh, it's Next Stage from
Next Stage for what?
Producing Perfection.
Oh! Okay, good. I was panicking for a second because it sounded like a Love Live song, and I know anything Love Live has for openings is copyrighted, so I was starting to kind of panic a bit. But if it's okay. If it's anything Neptunia, I'm not going to get slapped with a copyright for some reason. Compile Heart, I don't know why they don't claim it, but they don't. So, or at least they don't claim it right now. I might have to adjust later on, but I don't know. So, other than that,
ooh, there's the Rebirth 2. I mean, there's the
Mark 2.
There's the MK2 opening.
Now you're just trolling, dude. Now you're just fucking trolling. Like, come on, man. You picked the 3 ones I dislike the most, and you fucking Just go
Well,
ahead and
next
play.
stage isn't that bad.
Well, it's not that bad, but it's not one of the good ones, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that's.
hilariously down the middle.
I really like Action U's opening.
It's not bad, but my favorite is still my favorites are from Chaos, Sean Peru, from Cyber Dimension, and from Arc 3 of Mega Dimension. So, but if you guys are wondering about what this what this GIF picture is, because that's what I'm using OBS as a picture, is a GIF that I made. I picked 4 game franchises that I've played in both past, present, and future, combined them into one picture with Wonder Share for more. So, like Neptunia, Golden Sun, Atelier, Legend, Dragon.
Actually, the MK2 opening doesn't seem that bad.
For me, it's bad because I just don't like the sound. In fact, it's, if anything, the reason why I don't like her is she reminds me, her song, 5PB songs remind me of Idle Trash. I know it's not actually 5PB who sings it, but I just can't stand that stuff. I'm a guy who likes his music hardcore, and engaging, powerful, entertaining, and some form of.
I like Overworld.
Overworld, yes. They have a couple of good songs. My favorite is D-Techno Life. And the reason
I thought D-Techno Life was okay.
I heard of D-Techno Life through Overworld through Bleach, and I know not many people like Bleach, but I absolutely fucking love Bleach, and almost probably the first 8 or 9 openings were great.
I really like Decided.
Decided. Is that an opening? Which one is that?
It's not an opening. It's actually one Overworld song. It's kind of like it's like J-rap.
Oh, really? Because from what I understand, the lyrics to D-Techno Life are literally a dude begging his girlfriend not to leave him.
Also, I noticed that for Overworld, when it comes to opening songs, they seem to not like to do those. When people really want them to make.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them personally.
Yeah, I know. I can't blame it. It's like when it's like a bunch of bands they made one good song, and then every concert everybody's like, "Oh, do that song,"
and it's not the song they like to do or anything like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're tired of doing it, but the fans really just want to see it.
Yeah, and I totally get that. And that's probably why Maximum the Hormone doesn't do very many anime openings. Like anybody, I would never go to a Maximum the Hormone concert, and I would never ask them to sing "What's Up, People," because that will literally kill your voice. Holy hell! Have you seen their music video for that? Holy hell! The dude was going so berserk at the end, he literally lost his voice. I could never. I would I would feel bad for Maximum the Hormone if someone requested "What's Up, People," because there's so much screaming and screeching that they do that if they played that song, especially at the end, they would lose their voice entirely. I can't blame them. I can't blame it.
No.
I can't blame a company.
No.
At all.
OneMan.
Yes.
Tokyo Ghoul's getting a live action movie.
Meh. I was disappointed in the anime, so it doesn't really hurt me much.
Damn it, Netflix.
That I was actually super upset about was the Death Note adaptation.
I'm so tired of Netflix just making all these terrible movie stuff. I mean, seriously.
Literally, I don't know if you watched South Park, but the latest, one of the latest South Park episodes, they have a feature about Netflix, and Eric Cartman literally says Netflix is.
I actually need to start watching South Park. Wait, how many seasons are there again? 800.
There are 20. There are now season 21, I think, or something like that.
It's like the One Piece of Adult Swim.
I just can't wait until Toonami actually features One Piece. And then that will become the One Piece of Adult Swim, since Toonami's technically part of Adult Swim.
Oh, actually, wait. No, for Overworld, my favorite one is a not well known one. It's crud. I can't remember the. Hold on, let me check for half a second. It's Boku no Kotaba,
Hey.
which I believe translates to like I can't remember, but I'll put a link.
But let's see what other.
Hey, I'm at school now.
All right. Well, if Saban, if you're at school now, I'd suggest you kick off for now, so that way I'm not distracting you. So, oh, see, I haven't seen this anime. Probably should, but I can.
No,
see
but just
why.
check out the opening. It's really.
I'll play that once this podcast is over. But I gotta avoid playing anything Overworld because Overworld's got it.
Oh right,
It's got it on.
Overworld's
Overworld's got it
kick you.
on lock, like blocks worldwide. Like I could deal with maybe like losing copyright and like losing monetization, but I cannot allow myself to get blocks. So any of you who are at school, I do not want to take away from your school time. So that is
To tell you, I'm not at school. I'm not.
Any of you who are, please sign off because I do not want to be a source of distraction.
Yeah.
I respect school and what it does.
Baka na pig.
It's like 7:19 p.m. for me, so I'm like
Same.
already.
It's 5:20 for me. 5:20 for me personally.
8:15 a.m.
So.
8:15 a.m.
So yeah. But what you were saying about the Netflix series is what I was saying about South Park, and that there's an episode where Cartman and his friends are making a superhero show, and trying to make a superhero franchise, and they're like, Eric Cartman literally says Netflix right now is scrambling desperately for original shows, and if I didn't like South Park before, I liked it then because seriously, with the Death Note movie, I absolutely.
Yeah, South Park makes fun of the whole, like, Netflix trying to get as many freaking movies.
Like, I understand, like, trying to get normal people interested in Death Note, but that's exactly... if you're going to get someone interested in Death Note, have the Death Note adaptation make sense at least. Like, fuck. They completely, like, rewrote half the characters.
It's funny, I hang out with my school's anime club, and every girl in it is like, oh my god, Yuri on Ice! Ah! Ah!
Like, I understand why they would melt at the knees for that, because Fujoshi's, but...
I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm just too straight to watch Yuri on Ice. I know it's like really,
I know it's gay and shit, but if it had a decent story, and it wasn't about fucking ice skating... then maybe I would give it a shot. I mean, if you guys watched Number 6, that's a phenomenal anime. But it does feature some BL scenes, but I didn't even realize it did because I went in to watch it blind. Because I had heard it was great psychological drama, which it is. And it's a good psychological social commentary. But there's like a few like 30-second scenes of like basic BL in it. I'm like, crap. And I'm just like, okay, just power through it. The story's good enough. Just ignore the BL. Just ignore it. Just good stories.
Hey, OneMan, have you seen Rick and Morty?
Matt, were you talking? Hold on, guys. Matt, were you talking to me?
No, actually, it's me.
No. The person who runs my house lets me know when dinner is ready. So I thought dinner was ready or something like that. Anyways, what were you saying, Emerald?
Have you seen Rick and Morty?
A couple episodes. I haven't been into it hardcore lately because.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Adult Neptune or Rick?
Rick.
Yeah, I know. Rick kind of wins by default.
Well, he's nastier and he's grittier. You know, he's got a lot less inhibition.
Well, also the bigger problem is that he's literally unbeatable.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's kind of. Like, but not in a bad way.
Is he unbeatable through like a multiverse view, or is he immortal? Like, what makes him unbeatable?
Well, what makes him unbeatable is the fact that he's the smartest man in the multiverse. Even though he doesn't exactly like flaunt it at all, he can't be beaten, whether it's by world-ending factions. I mean, he's collapsed governments without even trying that hard.
Wow, he really reminds me of me. So that's.
I mean, he could literally take on all of the CPUs combined and win.
Question is could he take on Kurome or could he take on Madara?
The thing is probably with like some kind of plan or something, but it would be like a really like proxy thing. I don't know. It would be,
to me. I think he might, like, while he is like unbeatable in a sense, Madara kind of was too, and so was kind of Kurome. Like literally the only way they could actually kill Kurome is if they shot the little the share crystal. They couldn't beat her otherwise. Like, she's immortal, and anybody who doesn't have the information on Kurome can't beat her. Like, you could beat her form so many times, and she'd still come back. Like, she was, like, literally the incarnation of Orange Heart's malice. And with Madara Uchiha, fucking Kishimoto just kept giving him more and more power. He gave him the fucking Rinnegan, he gave him Sage of Six Paths, he gave him both Rinnegan's abilities, which allowed him to use Limbo clones, which are already hacks as fuck. He has Sage abilities in both Rinnegan. He also absorbed the fucking God Tree and created infinite Tsukuyomi.
Oh, just to say, in the new South Park video game, Craig, I believe his name is, his dad, it's like, hey, can you talk to him? And he's like, I've been collecting something. Apparently it's very valuable among kids. It's something called yaoi.
Oh, no, not that episode reference.
He's like, it's very valuable among young people. People will pay hundreds for it. God damn. And he has like a collection of yaoi pictures.
Oh my god. Oh, no. Damn it. It actually works too, because that's actually part of the story's canon story too. Oh man. Yeah. A lot of weird, wacky shit goes down. Like, literally, you know how shipping is, right? How you ship characters together? There's literally an episode where the Asian females of the school of Craig and Tweak literally ship Craig and Tweak together, and they literally are forced to become a couple through PC principle and because people ship them. Like, could you just imagine that shit? Like, could you just imagine Fujoshis being able to call couples at all? Oh god, that is a terrifying prospect. So, like I said before, there's a lot of weird, wacky shit that goes down. And the fact that, the new South Park...
The bad part is...
The fact that the new South Park game features canon, actual show canon, is actually pretty cool. So.
Oh god, the bad part. Yaoi just it leaks everywhere. Like, I was on my freaking school computer just looking for some stuff for my book project, and I come across like a Metro 2033, like Bourbon X RTM.
Wait, really?
Ship Yuri. I mean, wait, no.
There's no romantic implications whatsoever in that game.
I know.
Like, I understand shipping from, an anime standpoint, because there's always some form of, romance involved. But that's literally an apocalypse! That's literally an apocalypse!
It's the Dojin Circle. Like, they call it the Dojin Circle.
I know, but even the Dojin Circle usually follows logic of some sort. Like, if there's a romance application in something, that is feasible. I mean, it's a stretch, but still.
Well, if you think about it, there's a lot of teenage boys who like anime girls and boobs. What about all the teenage girls?
Yeah,
they like yaoi.
Yeah, and and I'm a Yuri trash man myself, yes, but
exactly.
Even then, I still try to keep within things that make a little bit of sense.
They have a secret underground organization.
The Fuji Illuminati.
It's called the
Okay.
Dojin. It's the Dojin Circle. It's kind of like the Golden Circle from Kingsman, but like it's the Dojin Circle.
Hey, Dolphinus.
Yo, you need something?
To tell you, I'm just gonna leave for today. So thank you
Alright,
for letting me be in the podcast.
no problem, man. Like I said, this podcast is about making things more accessible to anime fans than ever, so I have no problem with that. So,
Yeah, but thanks. See ya later.
see ya, Ultra Legger. Thanks for stopping by.
See you, Ultra.
Alright, now that that's out of the way. Anyways, so yeah. Yeah, that shit doesn't make sense, dude. Like, I'm a shipper myself, but at least it makes some form of sense.
But it's so funny that that South Park actually referenced that, like.
Right? Like, and not only did they reference it, but it actually turned it around and actually made shipping real, which is what is which is kind of freaky because season 20 was a bit weird like that because 19 and 20 started to kind of derail from their typical storytelling style because each episode is like their episodes generally run from like isolated incidents with no continuity, but they tried with seasons 19 and 20 to create continuity, and they didn't really do it that well with season 20. But they did well with season 19, but that's because season 20 tried to follow the presidential elections, and they had predicted that Hillary would win because, everybody thought Hillary would win. But other than me, but, that's because I already knew ahead of time what I was fucking doing. That's beside the point. Not everyone else is going to be in the know or believe that I'm in the know. But they try to follow the entire... Season 20 tried to follow the continuity of the entire election season. And so, like, when, people got a result they didn't expect, the story content kind of faltered, and they had to go and like improvise and change up shit. And
wait, I'm actually just curious. In that anime, The Heroic Legend of Arslan, is that main character with the white hair? Is it a he or a she?
I think that's a he.
I can't tell.
Yeah, that's another thing that bugs me about certain animes, that certain art styles kind of lead to an androgynous look. And I think, honestly, that's where the concept of traps actually...
I mean, so, like, I'm scared of, like, being attracted to...
Well, I can't blame you. I think it's a dude. Here's how I go about it. With anime, if you cannot confirm 100% that it's a chick, it's a dude. That's my policy on that. Like, if you cannot confirm 100% that it's a chick, that if a single bit seems inconsistent, assume it's a guy immediately. Like, I can spot a trap generally because even though they have like feminine mannerisms or things like that, they use what's known as boku, and people don't understand who don't understand nuances in language, don't understand the difference between like gender pronouns. But boku is something young boys use. And the reason why this is a way to spot like a difference between a trap and a female is that females generally don't use boku and tomboys use ore. So if it's a tomboy female and she uses ore, that means she's a tomboy. But tomboys never use boku. Boku with a feminine appearance almost always guarantees trap. You can get this with Hime from Hime-Goto, Nagisa from Assassination Classroom, Astolfo from Fate Apocrypha. I don't think that standard actually gets invalidated in any way, shape, or form. So if you are doubtful and they don't make it clear, try to pay attention to the person's speech, and that might help you out.
I think they say whether it's a guy or a girl.
Well, not always. Sometimes they don't. They bury the lead or they bury the, distinction. With Hime-Goto, they don't say it immediately. With Fate Apocrypha, I don't think they actually say he until like several episodes further in. With Nagisa is just a trap in like one scene. But if you are doubtful, be skeptical and look for speech patterns. Is my suggestion in that regard, because I've never seen, I've never heard a trap use the phrase "ore" before. The only time I've ever heard a female or a person who looks like a female use "ore" is if they're a tomboy. So, if you doubt based off of art style and appearance, trust in speech. That is my recommendation to you in that regard. So.
Thanks.
So if you're doubting of the person, and they don't tell you immediately, always look for speech pattern.
Oh yeah, just to say, OneMan, it's really nice speaking to you, but I think I gotta go get chores done and stuff.
All right, I got to use the restroom. I've been holding it in since 3 o'clock. So. All right.
All right. Well, I'll see you another time, OneMan. Probably the next podcast.
See you next time, man.
See you.
Let me know in the fan Discord section what a good time would be for you, because another person wanted to join and they said that it would be better for them to do weekends. So
the thing is, I think you started. What time did you start this one?
I started this one at 3 p.m. Kind of 2:30-ish to get started, but generally the base time is 3 to 5.
Yeah, I was at school.
Yeah. And I understand that. That makes sense. I get most of my views during the summer anyways, too, so...
Well, I mean, if you're really looking to adapt to people's school time, I guess go for a Sunday or a Saturday.
Well, keep in mind, I have to also account for Kyle's schedule, because he's the one who runs the office. And so I've been trying to negotiate back and forth to find the best time for everybody. But to me, weekends sound fine. And I understand 3 to 5 may not be convenient either, but I think 3 to 5 is a good time, specific time for me personally. That way I am, able and ready and like awake and able to talk. So if weekends are the best time for you, then next week it will be done on like a Saturday or Sunday.
All right, cool. Well, I'll see you later, OneMan.
Thanks for stopping by. I'll be playing some Producing Perfection or something like that after dinner. So
thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by, man.